incredible panels, demos, talks, and presentations over the next 3 days.
Good morning. Hey, Learn Day. What's this stream going to be about? I'm not entirely sure yet. I was going to ask you guys what you guys wanted to see. Let me turn off that starting soon image. Yeah, I wanted to share a little bit of this with you guys. It's kind of exciting to me. This is my first time being in an artist alley. So I wanted to just go through and show that, and just thought it was fun. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I'll be there. This booth is at the Lightbox Expo, and it'll be there through tomorrow. There's a discount code for anybody interested in going through and finding my courses to be able to get a 40% off. Things like that. So I've got the tutorials, I've got some merchandise, and then I've got a connection to be able to go in and watch different streams for the Pixologic ZBrush Live. So yeah, and then there's a tip jar in my website. So just different things. Yeah, just really fun, and I'm really excited that I got to be part of that. Would you be able to run through a feature of ZBrush in and out, more like a workshop? I like to work on projects. I use this streaming time to be able to work on like my more personal projects. Just because I don't get time otherwise. But there are a lot of things that we could probably talk about, different features. I mean, I do all sorts of crazy things when we're when we're streaming. So yeah, welcome. Didn't advertise this stream a whole lot, so I don't know how many people will actually show up, but should hopefully be fun. I've got a couple of things that could be fun to work on. I've got the character that we were working on last time. Which I think could be cool. Let's go ahead, T, Control N. Okay, I've gone through and I've kind of started to try to fix his pose a little bit. He feels like he's a little bit off center, like he's going to tip forward if we look at him. He looks like he's going to tip forward. All of his, his center of balance is more kind of like right here, and so he's like right over his toes, which doesn't feel right based on how his feet are posed. Just, JP, how you doing? So yeah, we got this going on, and then we've got the rock structure that we built in our stream last time. Okay, so yeah, lots of rocks, lots of fun. I think my kids just walked right past me, didn't even say hello. some so that it's more level with where I'd reposition the feet. That foot's gonna, or that rock's gonna need to be fixed. And then we've got the cloak, the coat, the thing here that is hidden. Where is it at? Okay, it's really short for what I want, but you know, just having pieces blocked in a little bit, kind of cool. All right, so we've got this as an option. Oh man, my stylus isn't working. Gotta unplug my tablet and plug it back in. You saw my my Daisy Duck? Yeah, it was so fun. It was such a great project. In fact, I got some pictures from somebody last night who was there, got to see it in person. I mean, it's a little bit dark, but it was super cool to be able to see. Oh, you know what? I can't replay those photos. I did take screenshots though, so maybe I'll just go to the screenshots. Yeah, so there's like Daisy in scene and everything. The lighting's kind of cool because it's got that really neat, you know, the colored light and everything going on. And showed like, you know, the Minnie Mouse and the Mickey Mouse and all the other characters that were around there. It was really super fun. It's neat to see things like that. But yeah. So I've got either this project that we could do, or I've got I still want to work on this guy because he's super fun. And look at that, 14 million polys for this so far. I need to go through and decimate that rock so that it's not so heavy. I've got this guy that I've started, that I really like, but he just has like a lot of work to do. I think could be fun. So there's that. In fact, here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and we will make a couple of screenshots here, and then we'll have people like vote. Pull this guy over here. Let's say load tool. We'll come over to the stairs. We have this apartment scene that I'd love to get, you know, finished and thrown into Maya at some point so that I can do some surfacing and lighting. Lots of stuff. Is it coming? Is it coming? Let's see, here we go. So I mean, there's the bedroom, but then we also have things like the living room. Let's close that. Switches and outlets. Oh, here we go. So there's like the kitchen. We could work on the kitchen. That'd be super fun. Cabinet, TV, stand, apartment. Okay. So yeah, you can see kind of like what's going on there with that scene, and I really like that, and I'm super excited about how it's going on. And I'm trying to think of maybe another, like a fourth option. Let me know if any of these are like sticking out to you and you're like yeah, do that. In fact, I'll pull my my browse for ZTL folder over to the other side. Characters for fun. Something else that I thought about doing. Well, I could come over here. I guess just to make sure that I get my screenshot there. I could work on this lovely lady. She has a lot that I need to do, but I mean, it could be fun to go through and kind of work on some nice legs for her. Got that as an option. And then, yeah, I was thinking that since September is Hispanic, like Latino, Heritage Month, doing something that had more of a bearance on, you know, Latino culture or whatever. I mean, it's obviously very, you know, had the Victorian style to it or whatever, but yeah. What do you guys think? What would you like to see? I really think I kind of want to jump in on and work on this kitchen. I've done a lot of work to the bedroom, which I think is turning out pretty nicely. It's feeling pretty good. But I think now I'd like to go in and kind of work on building out the kitchen, maybe making some plates, things like that. As much as I'd like to work on McLear over here, I think we'll probably nix him. Yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking, cause I'd love to hear it. I think I'm gonna work on that environment though, if nobody's opposed. I have been working in ZBrush since 2012, so at this point it's been about 9 years. I got into ZBrush. Cool. Vote for the kitchen. A vote for the kitchen is a vote for the people. There we go. Yeah, it'll turn off the living room props. Turn off the armchair, the sofa, the corner table. Books. I don't see the books on anywhere. Oh, it's because they're not even actually turned on. That's okay. That's fine. Turn off central table. We'll leave the kitchen on. Turn off the dragon. Okay. Yeah. So some things that I want to put in the kitchen. I want to put in like a toilet paper, not a toilet paper, a paper towel roll with a stand. I want to put in. I want to put in things like like a garlic branch. I want to put in, I want to hang mugs from underneath the cabinet. Towels, sponge. Right now we got kind of a sponge over here. What is this thing over here? I mean, this is all like super blocked in, so it's not even. Yeah, that's probably our sponge right there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. My tablet does not want to work for me right now. There we go. Okay, so we'll just have that dynamic subdivide on. Let me see. Yeah, so we've got all that stuff. The oven and the stove top looks pretty decent. Yeah, let's turn on perspective so that maybe we can see a little bit more. But yeah, building out things like plates and cups and things like that. So I think that'll be kind of nice. I'll need to do like a bowl of fruit. I need to plus out this fridge so that it's more complete. You know, so we get like the magnetic stripping between here, the hinges on the ends, maybe some cords and coils on the back, different things like that. Hello, how are you doing? This is very good work. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a blast. I love working on this stuff, and it's it's so much fun. For those of you who are new and don't know me or my work very well, I'm Steven Anderson. I am a 3D concept sculptor for Netflix animation, and currently working on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I can't wait for things to start coming out about it, but it's super exciting. It's a great project, bunch of great people. In fact, I'm getting to work with somebody that I used to work with at DreamWorks. While I'm on this project at Netflix, which is super exciting. Okay, cool. So I'm just trying to get like a little bit of my bearing here. I'm gonna turn off Kai's bedroom. It's because that'll speed things up just a little bit, which is nice. And it'll be easier because I don't have to worry about, looking through the closet or things like that. It'll be more visible. Okay. So things that we can go ahead and start to build. That oven needs some finishing, but that's fine. We'll leave it how it is for right now. Trying to think. Let's build some plates. Let's build some plates, and then we can use the plates to be able to build out bowls. I'm trying to think. Do I have models for this already started? Let's say the stairs, environments. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's see, props. Okay, no. So at this point, right now, no, there aren't any props that I've created for the kitchen. So let's go ahead. Let's just create some real quick. I'm going to say hit the R to be able to zero that out a little bit, and then I'm going to come over here. Let's say make polymesh 3D, and then I'm going to say initialize Q-sphere. Okay, this Q-sphere is one of the most useful shapes that I ever use inside of ZBrush. Give me just a second. All right. Yeah, so it was just the kids had left the noisemaker on, so I just wanted to turn it off. Makes it a little bit easier for me. Okay, cool. So just make that nice and round. One of the things that I want to do is I want to start off with a nice kind of center, where it's like a little bit flat, where it's nice and even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, we'll say extender. We'll just kind of extend that out just a little bit so we have that straight up and down, very even band across the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to say flatten. And I'm going to turn on my symmetry in this direction so we can just come in, boop, just like that. It's nice, even top and bottom. Okay, so this is going to be the base for this plate. Really super simple. Hit accept. Okay, so now we're ready to get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have 2 different polygroups there. Okay. Going to make sure this is in the center, and if I hold Alt and scale, you can see I'm starting to get this. You know, it's scaling out from the center right there. Thanks, Arish. I have a lot of fun with this stuff, so it's always nice when people appreciate it, when people like it, you know. So let's come over here. I'm just trying to find kind of a good shape for this plate. And I'm trying to, in fact, this is probably like too small. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead, let's grab this. We'll just kind of scale it out some. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this top polygroup and we're just going to get rid of it. Say geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. And then down here, in fact, let's do this. We'll say dynamic. We'll turn dynamic on. See, that gives us nice, you know, some nice smoothness going around. But what I want to do is I want to play with this thickness. Oops, that was way too much. Okay, I just got to play with it until it feels about right. Okay, now there will be things that I'll change. Like for instance, let's take down the smooth modifier here. This inner ring here, this inner group, that needs to be smoothed out so it's not so inset. But that's the easiest part there. There's this offset section here, which is super amazing. So I'm just going to take it. I'm going to put it to -100, so that way it's just going in that negative direction, and it's leaving the outside section untouched. So yeah, so this is going to be all right-ish. I'm going to go to. Let's take this, we'll just kind of flatten it a little bit more. Okay. Let's kind of scale this in a little bit. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hit apply. You see how we've got like different polygroups, you know, one for the top and there's a different polygroup for the bottom. That's exactly what we want. So that's great. I am going to take this polygroup. I'm going to say, let's polish that. Control Shift X to grow. And then we'll just, let's say polish that. So you can see kind of what that does to it. Kind of raises it up and evens it out some. This is not quite what I'm wanting. So let's just kind of scale that out a little bit. I'm just trying to go through and picture. In fact, maybe what I need to do is like scale it out so that it's pretty close. close to that scale. And then we'll just pull this in even more here. Something like that. Okay. That'll work nicely for a plate. I do want to go ahead and add an extra loop in here. Yeah, so what I'm doing today, just to show you, I've got this scene that I started building a while back, and I'm trying to build out the kitchen a little bit. Right now we've got a kitchen with no plates, no dishes, no bowls of fruit, no nothing, right? So we want to go ahead and we want to build this out some so that it's, so we have something there. I am going to say crease, uncrease all. That's interesting. I have no idea what's going on right here. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Okay, so let's delete this. We'll come into geometry. We'll go to geometry, to dynamic subdivision. We'll turn on dynamic. And essentially what it's doing is it's creating that thickness. It's creating thickness. And so what I need to do is I need to turn off the thickness, and I need to turn on my smooth subdivision feature. You know, turn that on to, like, let's turn it on to 2. Okay, so that's giving us a much better representation of what we're doing. Good grief. Good gravy. Okay, so let's take the dynamic subdivisions off, and we'll just kind of scale this in. It's like on the bottom of a plate, there's like a little bit of an inset here. In fact, that ring right here, let's go ahead and take that and we'll say scale edge loop partial. Kind of do something like that. And then maybe with this, we'll also go ahead and just slide it up or something. Oh wait, nope, slide edge loop partial. There we go. Boom. Something like that, so that it's nice and even. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll say insert single edge loop. In fact, if we want to make sure that that's right in the center, we could say multiple edge loops. And then we could say keep polygroup. And that way we got that nice line and edge in the center there. Slide. And that'll give us just like a gentle curve here on the bottom. So pretty nice. You really make this look effortless, amazing to watch. I don't want to start a war, but I just started learning Blender a week ago. Is ZBrush similar? ZBrush is the industry standard. Blender is making strides, and it's amazing to see kind of some of the things that Blender has started to do. But yeah, it's a very different. They're very different. Let's go ahead. I was just looking and seeing. It's like I've got that inner curve here. I'm like I gotta kind of imitate that curve here on the bottom a little bit better. There we go. cool. All right, let's see if we can get Control Shift X, Control W. Let's go ahead and let's actually give this a little bit more thickness here. Okay, so here's our basic plate. Okay. I think technically, if I were to look inside of the cabinet in here, let's see, cabinet tall, I might have a plate already in there. Oh, it's kind of closed off. I've got a plate stand. Maybe I don't have a plate. Nope, I don't actually have a plate. I know that at one point I had like designed a plate in there or whatever. But yeah, really kind of fun and interesting. Let's see. Let's go back over to our plate and let's play around with this. Yeah, it's funny. I get Blender questions like all the time during a stream, and I think everybody treads very carefully on the subject because they don't want to start a war. And I'm just like, yeah, it's okay. You know, if you have a question, you know, better to ask. I know at work, they tried to have me use Blender for a few things, and I tried it. I was using it, and it was just it was crazy. It was crazy. I couldn't get the hang of it. It was way too different from everything else I've ever learned, so it was hard to use. The routing of polygroups and the use of commands are more successful in ZBrush compared to Blender. I didn't know that they had polygroups or something similar inside of Blender. That's interesting. Polygroups are such a useful thing. I feel like polygroups and masking are like undervalued. Okay, so we'll call that our basic plate. I'm going to hit save so that we can keep it. Got to make sure that I'm going to the right folder. So we'll go to the project, environments, say props, kitchen, basic plate. Okay, so right now this plate is too basic. Okay, one of the things that I have done very intentionally on my designs for this space is I've gone through and I've kind of pushed shapes, pushed designs, tried to offset edges so that I don't have, you know, parallel lines and things like that. Right now everything's very clean, everything's very, oh boy, it's trying to go through and save everything. I'm gonna restart ZBrush. Again, just in case you're at Lightbox, I'm in the Artist Alley if you wanted to come and check me out. It's kind of fun. Quentin, how you doing, dude? Oh yeah, just so that you know too, I'm booth number 305. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but whatever. You know, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and restart ZBrush. It's super fun. It's super exciting. I have links in here to be able to get to the different streams, to be able to check out merchandise, get tutorials. I have a tip jar. You know, lots of fun stuff. And you get to see me stream this morning, so fun. So much fun. 305. Miami area code. I hope I didn't make you pine for home. Props, kitchen, basic plate. Okay, now that we only have this plate open, everything should be so much faster. Okay, so we have this basic plate. Okay, what I want to do, Control Shift D, I am going to start to manipulate this so that it's something more worth having. I want to, yeah, it's kind of offset it. I'm just gonna kind of nudge, edges here and there. So I'm trying to pay attention to, like, I pulled out here, so I'm just gonna kind of pull in here a little bit, pull out, maybe pull out some over here. I'm just trying to make it so that it's not a perfect circle. I want it to feel like it's been made by hand. Also, you know, I could go through and kind of change some of the height. One of the things that I want to do as well is that it feels very, very even in thickness. And so I want to change that some. Since we have this in like such a low resolution right now, it should be easy enough. I mean, I could come through here with like the inflate brush and just kind of inflate here and there, hold Alt and kind of deflate in some spots. And you can see like it's starting to get a little bit more of an uneven. Oops, that's a little bit too much. You kind of smooth out in places or something like that, and it makes it really kind of nice. Down here, I'm just going to use my move brush on this area down here just to get some variation. Okay, so there's a basic plate. Okay, there's some variation to the flow on in this rim. There's some, in fact, we can just kind of give it a little bit of lift here on the bottom here, just here and there, just so that it feels like it wouldn't sit quite even. I don't know, but I need it to feel a little bit, you know, handmade. So there's our basic plate. I'm going to make this _01. It's just kind of how I like to run my my naming conventions. So yeah, we've got one plate here, and you know what? Let's go through. In fact, let's hit Shift S just so we can keep that up in that corner. Control Shift D. We'll bring this one down, and we'll name this basic plate 02. And let's do some of the same things that we did with the other one. I kind of go to a Z-modeler. ZRemesher hates me. Yeah, ZRemesher is interesting. It's a great tool, but it's definitely not something that gets you final topology. That's why I love working with like clean topology and these different techniques to be able to make, you know, nice clean shapes and all of that. It's so neat. It's so much fun. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's give this some. Okay, I just want to kind of offset this differently than the other one. So let's go ahead and pull this here, and we'll kind of pull the inside of the plate out over there. And it's just, I'm just trying to keep it kind of subtle. I'm keeping a nice big brush. I'm just adjusting things pretty subtly. Let's kind of pull this over here, something like this. Yeah, the show that I'm working on right now, there's not much. Like, there's a ton of stylization, but it's not wonky. And so, like, in my personal work, I love to push the idea of, that's a little bit too parallel with the, in fact, let's pull that out, pull this in, pull that out, something like that. So it's a little bit more, almost like a really bloated triangle. Um, yeah, so there's plate number 2. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. And you know, maybe this is fine. This is fine. So I can go ahead and have this on. I'll just hit solo so that we can go ahead and do kind of like what we did with the other plate. We'll just get some variation here and there to. So this is one way that we can add some variation. I'm just gonna add some inflating around the edge here and there so that we get, and smooth in a couple spots so that we get some smoother spots. I was talking to my students last night about how I'd started going through and watching Lord of the Rings again for the first time in years. It's been such a long time. They're fun films. Okay, so there's 2. You see there's like a little bit of that wave on the profile, and that's exactly what we want. Super cool. Okay, go down, and one of the things that I wanted to try, this should work out just fine, but one of the things that I wanted to try, I'm just going to kind of get my mask going on in here. Okay, now what I want is I want to use surface noise to kind of break up the plate surface. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over to surface. I'm going to turn on just basic noise. And you'll see, like, it's just, you know, this super simple noisy noise, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to take my noise scale and put it up. Maybe not quite as high as it'll go. Let's put it up pretty high though. We'll say okay. So you can see what it's doing. I mean, it looks like a styrofoam plate that hit the flames or something. Like it's like bubbling and whatever. What I want to do, I want to turn on layer. I'm going to go ahead and add a layer, and then under surface, I'm going to say apply to mesh, and you can see like how that manipulated the mesh right here. It's really kind of a cool thing. I'm going to take the intensity down a little bit. Now, there are different things that we can do to kind of vary things up a little bit. You know, this added some neat little variation here. It's not super. Here, let's go ahead and kind of pull this back some. And you can see the effect that it had. It really bloated it, which is like way too much. So instead of doing it like that, what I'm going to do is let's again turn on the noise. We'll hit edit. There's this what was the there we go. It's this focal shift. It's like I can go through and kind of focus in on those details, and we might do something. Oh no, it's not the focal shift. I think it's the offset. You can see how it's kind of like changing where that noise happens. Let's see if we hit apply to mesh. It's still terrible. Never mind. I'll just do it the same way that I had done it. Hey Chris, how you doing? Yeah, so what I'm working on today, I've got this yeah, you probably remember this. You've been around that long. I'll go back over in environments, apartment. Oh, not apartment scene 1. Dang it. Shoot. Environments, apartment scene 3. I need to make an old folder so I can archive those old pieces. Turn off solo. So yeah, I've got currently I've got, you know, Kai's bedroom turned on, but you'll remember this one. It's just that today, instead of working on the bedroom, I wanted to work on the kitchen. And let's turn on apartment. And then we'll turn on kitchen. So yeah, I'm just going through kind of at the moment building out plates. And I wanted to do kind of a variety, you know, get myself, you know, currently I've got, you know, 3 different plates, I guess, technically. Let's go ahead and kind of push and pull, just so that this is different from the other plate. Just kind of give it some inflation here. I hate inflation. Maybe pull this down a little bit. Okay. And then we'll just kind of push and pull this around just a smidge. Just so that it feels a little bit different, a little bit more differenter. Cool. So now we've got 3 different varieties of plates. We got that, and that. This one feels like it's a little bit too off, so I'm just going to kind of adjust this a little. Cool. So there's the one we started off with. Here's our first one, second one, and third one. In fact, the first one feels like it's a little bit too pushed as well. Yeah, let's do something like that. This feels really kind of extreme, so let's just kind of even that out just a little bit, just so that it's just not perfect. All right, let's make sure that this is unmasked, unmasked, unmasked. Cool. Okay, so now we've got our 3 plates. Save. Save, save, save. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So now that we've got this, I'm going to say basic plates group, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll add those to the group. Cool. Yes, yes. Okay. Sick kids all week. Oh man, that's no fun. That's no fun. Yeah, we've been... They don't have the COVIDs, do they? That's something that's terrifying to us. Especially with all these variants that are coming out. Like we got Delta, and then we got Mu, or whatever it's called. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's take these subtools. We'll say copy folder. Come over here to La Cocina. They'll probably paste in about right here. I think that's where the center is. But we'll say paste folder. And it's below the ground too, so we can't even see it. Oh, where did it Did it paste into the room? Ah, here we go. So where are they at? Here, we'll do this. Ah, they're over there. And they're super small. I was expecting them to be huge. That's funny. Okay, let's go ahead and say transpose set. Let's start off by making them a little bit bigger. Just big enough to see. Nothing to see here. Okay, so we've got these right over here. Okay. Let's kind of scale it down some. About right there, maybe. And let's turn off the pizza boxes. Yeah. Okay, so since plate 1, 1's a good number to go on the bottom. Tis a good place to start. I'm just going to kind of place it so that it feels like it's sitting here on the countertop. In fact, maybe I'll leave it even. I'll leave it even. Just leave it, you know. Take number 2. And we'll lower it so that it's in between. And then if we wanted to, we could take this up and we could say, let's grab plate 3, Control Shift D. And then we could just center, rotate. It doesn't have to be rotated like too much either. You just take it, rotate it, and then you just move it up. And there we go. We got like a completely different plate. You know? Oh, I've got plate number 3 instead of plate number 4. That's so lame. Okay, now I can move plate 4 up. Now I can rotate it. And now we're a little bit better off. And I can obviously, you know, do the same thing for Control Shift D. Take that down to the bottom. Raise it up. And I technically don't really even have to rotate it, but I'm gonna. Just enough to get the edges to line up differently. And there we go. We got like a stack of plates. So really quick and easy, we're able to make these sorts of things. One of the things I want to do, I want to take this stack of plates, say transpose set. It smells like waffles. That's something I need to make, is a waffle iron. Let's go ahead and pull it over so that it be there in the, not in the microwave. Let's pull it up so that it's sitting on top of this shelf here. And then we'll move it over. Okay, about right there. Just make sure that it's not kind of going down through the shelf. And the shelf feels like it's tilted, so let's go ahead and we'll just tilt this a little bit. I'm just going to kind of offset these a little bit so that they feel a little bit more like they're settled. Just kind of helps to add some appeal when you're looking at it from the side, getting a little bit more of a, you know what, let's pull this over this way. Pull that over here, something like that. That gives it just a little bit more variety, makes it feel a little bit more organic, a little bit more like somebody's, placed these plates in and wasn't too careful about lining things up or whatever. What is it you teach at Gnomon? One of the 10-week courses they offer? Yes. Been thinking about signing up for some through Gnomon. Not sure if I want to do full-time stuff or just pick and choose a few things. I feel like I need to beef up my 3D skills more. Yeah, so the course that I teach at Gnomon, it's literally the same as this stylized modeling course. In fact, I think I've got, there we go, flip normals. Either way, there's like a huge discount going on. Oops, shoot. Yeah, just in case you guys are interested, this is the exact same as what I teach at Gnomon. It shows the full process. It talks about all the things that I talk about when I teach my class, but it's like a third the price, and you get to take it at your own pace. So that's something that you can take a look at if you wanted to. Or there's also let me see, gnomon.edu. Yeah, the Gnomon class is a live class. So if that's something that's more of interest to you, let me see if I can find. Right now we're in summer term. We're in week 9. We just finished up week 9 actually. Admissions connect. Fall we're returning to campus. Registration for the fall is open. I'll send you guys a link for that. Trying to see if I recognize anybody. Individual courses. If you wanted to be able to sign up for individual courses, there's this option. Next term I will be on campus, so it's just kind of up to you what it is you want to do, but need some live instruction. Need to be able to ask questions without feeling like I'm bothering somebody throughout the day. That's fair. What day does fall start on? Let's go to the calendar. Summer term, fall term. October 11th. October 11th, which is really good to know. Oh, sweet. So I do get a couple of weeks off. I was totally thinking that I wasn't going to get any time off between terms this time because we had to crunch down the we had to crunch down the, what's it called? Oh my goodness. We had to crunch down the breaks in between terms because of the pandemic and everything, and we had tried to wait out a little bit to see when to see if the pandemic would end and things like that. Obviously it hasn't ended yet, and we're still living through a nightmare, but it's it'll get better at some point. So yeah, October 11th is when we're starting back up. It goes through December 19th, so the week before Christmas, and yeah, it's pretty exciting. Does the detailed material creation process start with ZBrush? So, I use ZBrush really for pretty much everything, like creating my textures, everything, literally. Um, and then I export those textures over into Photoshop and kind of refine them, or I'll use. Yeah, in fact, I show this every once in a while. Hopefully it'll work all right for me while I'm streaming. It's usually pretty slow and chunky when I'm um, oh gosh, I was hoping it would be done already. Yeah, it really slows down when it's when I'm streaming, when I'm broadcasting, because it does the same thing for when I'm teaching class too. So it's always kind of a hard thing trying to get in and show anything. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But whatever. Whatever. We'll live. Okay, let me see. Say open. Oh, I need to send that off to my student. He had gone through and his submission for class last night. I had done some paint over and some draw over, some notes and things. So I need to send that off to him. Good grief. It might finish loading by the time the stream ends. Yeah, I'll take you to a project that ArtStation. We'll go to from ZBrush. We got this from Substance too here. But yeah, gosh, typically what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll take the oh, no, I wanted that one. Shoot. I bet it's selected stuff. It's not the right kind of document. Oh my goodness. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. I wish I could say you get the idea, but okay, there we go. From ZBrush. And then this will be kind of like my layered Photoshop file that has all the different passes. One of the big things that I like to do to be able to create my maps is literally just taking whatever diffuse map I create and extrapolating or pulling out the different information for things like the specularity, the roughness, the subsurface scattering, those sorts of things, using channels. So like right now, this mask, this is a mask file. That's not even the right one. Let's see this one down here. You can see like it's got, a hues of, blue, red, green, orange, some browns in there. It's all based on these channels. So like the red would be, I think I have the red at specularity. Yeah, so this would be the specularity. The green is roughness, and then the blue is metallic. So I tried to add like a little bit of metallic here to the vest pieces itself to hopefully make it feel a little bit more like nylon. I need to go through and actually change that to be more sheen. things that I've learned since doing this project. And then I got like metallic bits where it's like the edges of these pieces are worn off, or whatever these were, I can't remember, being fully metallic. Oh, it's the belt buckle stuff. Yeah, and you can see like where it's added, more roughness in places where there's dirt. And these are things that I've gone through and used, just like my diffuse map. This is my color map, and I've used that information to be able to drive these other maps. And all these maps came straight from ZBrush. So yeah, it's super cool. It's super useful. I really, really love this sort of workflow because it simplifies things and kind of cuts out some steps, some baking for sure. I've stopped using normal maps, and I started using displacement maps instead, which has been super helpful. In fact, I think if I were to go in here, let's say Control-Alt, Control-Shift-C, Control-Shift-V. If I were to take this, I mean, you should be able to come in and say generate height map. I wonder if this would generate a decent height map if it's looking at the normal information, or if it's going to be looking at the value information. Because if it's looking at the value information, it'll be kind of odd. It'll have like little high spots where the light blue is up here. It'll have low spots where that darker color is. Little things like that. But it'd be interesting to see kind of how that works. But yeah, all these maps, this normal map is baked out from ZBrush. The nice thing about doing it that way is that I don't have to worry about. Like if you bake something inside a Substance Painter. Oh, that is so messed up. I need to look into this because that's a pain in the boot. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, anyway, I'll not worry about this then. It looks like it might have done it anyway. Or like it's going to do it. It's doing something. Yeah, it's doing something. Yeah, you can see that's kind of what it's giving us. Yeah, so it's not really giving me a good displacement map. I would have to go through and create like a real displacement map out of ZBrush to be able to get that to work right, but whatever. It's not a big deal. Yeah, remind me not to open up Photoshop ever again on a stream. Watching you sold ZBrush over Blender. We'll go away and plot away with some beginner tutorials. It'll be a long time till I give up my day job though. Yeah, so one of the nice things that you can do, ZBrush Live is an excellent free resource for things, being able to learn, so going and checking out different live streams. It's an amazing, simple, free way to get some learning in. Let's go ahead and add some chunk there. Add some chunk there just to vary it up and make it feel a little bit more substantial. Now, something else that we can do if we wanted to. I wonder. Let's duplicate the set of plates here. I'm going to say transpose set, and I'm going to hold Alt. Oh, it's not going to work. Dang it. Let's go ahead. We'll just shrink it down so we make a smaller plates. Okay, but then I'll scale it up so that they feel like they're more the same height as the other plates. I don't want them to feel like they're less substantial. I want them to feel like they're about the same. I just want them to feel smaller. Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of pull this up a little bit. You know what? Let's do this. We're going to bring this down more to the bottom. Do something like that. Kind of pull that over. And maybe we'll push them back too. Because you know when I'm doing dishes, I like to have things kind of pushed back. Something like that. Maybe we'll leave that the stack of big plates where it's at. And then we'll make a stack of like bowls right here or something. I don't know, we'll have to see. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's helpful, and you know, quite honestly, a lot of my workarounds for things like you know, like for instead of using Substance Painter, using Photoshop and things like that. The reason I do that, especially now, is that since Substance has moved over to being part of the Adobe subscription model, I can't afford it. And so and granted, I could get like either discounted or free version for being an educator. I just haven't gotten into that yet. That, and it kind of brings my workstation to its knees, so it's it's kind of heavy to work with. But yeah, so someday I'll have some. I'll have something. I'll have a nicer workstation, nicer things, you know, whatever. Let me see. Cool, so we have some plates. I'm going to grab this first group of plates. Let's say duplicate. Transpose set. And we'll just pull this up. And then I'll actually go ahead and merge these plates with the, yeah, I know it's kind of hard having a subscription model because you have to keep paying for it. It's like you can't just be stuck on one version as long as you have to be, and then you know. But it's like I remember those days. I remember when it's like I was stuck on Adobe Creative Suite, you know, CS2, CS3, CS4. And as soon as they got past CS 6.5 or whatever, they moved on to the Creative Cloud stuff, which is, it's fine. I pay for my Creative Cloud. But you know, it gets to be kind of taxing sometimes. Let's see. I'm going to take these plates and I'm going to move them up. So that I have the same, like all those, like that whole stack should hopefully, yeah, it should all be in one folder. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, the mic shouldn't be too quiet. It's yeah, I'm afraid that if I were to try to do anything to make it louder, it would not sound very good. I try not to talk too loud when I'm when I'm streaming, just because I don't want to disrupt my family's life too much. But whatever. Whatever. Let's go ahead. Let's make some bowls. In fact, something that could be cool too. Let's do this so that I have them all kind of at the scale. Let's go back over to the plates. I'm going to say copy folder. Let's say Z plugin, paste folder. Yeah, it happens. Oh, speaking of sound, if anybody has gotten my mold making techniques tutorial set on flipped normals, I had created a little bit of a mistake. I had, instead of uploading the edited video files that actually had sound and audio and talking and actual tutorial learning stuff to it, I had uploaded the raw video footage, which had no sound. And somebody had given me this terrible review, and super well earned, right? And it was just so funny because I was so bothered that I would get a bad review saying that like the sound is terrible, and or like there is no sound, and that there's no learning, that there's no anything. And it's just like, did you turn your sound on? Did you do this? Did you do that? The other? And he's like, no, literally there is no sound. This is terrible. This is such a waste of money. And just like I've never gotten that review before. Nobody's ever told me that there was no sound, that there was, you're literally the only one. I don't know how to fix this for you, but I'm sorry. I'll check with Flip Normals and see if there was something wrong with the file as it, after it uploaded. And they took a look at it, and they said, no, actually they're right. The videos have no sound. And I was embarrassed. I was so mortified. It was such a bad deal. Yeah, right now what I'm doing is I'm just taking these down to 0. Just so that I can have them in the center. Okay, good. That's the last one. Okay, so now I've got these plates, and these are my actual asset plates. We'll go ahead and hide those. Those are the originals. But we'll go ahead and rename it so that it's yeah. Anyway, I went through and I fixed it, but it was still super embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. It's okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's copy this folder. And we'll say paste folder. You know what? I'm going to test this just to see if this is... Yeah, so you can see kind of like that's where the plates are. So I'm just going to go ahead, take that, send it home. Take that, send it home. Take that, send it home. Jamie, Mr. Magoo. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well, man. Yeah, great to see you. Yeah, it's fun. It's good to see you, dude. It's I haven't seen you for a while. Jamie, just so that you guys are aware, Jamie is awesome. He's one of the guys I worked on the a whole bunch of stuff at worked with on a whole bunch of stuff at Disney. Like, good grief. He's super good. He's super awesome. Hanging in there, man. Still furloughed. Man, that's insane. I can't even imagine. I mean, that was it was hard getting let go. It'd be even harder to kind of be hanging on in that sense for that long. Man, hopefully they take you back soon, like take you back on, put you on something soon, because I'm sure they're doing stuff. They're opening the parks. Everything's moving forward. There's no reason why. No reason. Let's see, basic plates. Replace it, please. Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to actually use these dishes to be able to make bowls. So I'm going to start off Control Shift D, and then we'll say bowl small 01, and we'll solo it out. Okay. In fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that these are two different poly groups, because that's too much. Okay, auto groups. I don't like having the poly groups repeat, and I want to be able to make quick and easy selections. So it's almost taken some other jobs, but they weren't as good of offers, so still hanging on. Yeah. Oh man, that's hard. Yeah, it's like at the time that I was hired on at Netflix, there were a couple of offers that were coming through, and both of the ones, the other ones that I would have taken, they were good offers. They were really good offers, and in much cheaper zip codes. But since Netflix more aligns with what it is that I want to be doing, I decided to go with that one instead. One of the other ones was with Epic Games, working with the and that would have been super cool, and that would have been in North Carolina. But But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a crazy thing, you know, getting different offers and not knowing really what to do with them. And especially since like those sorts of things, like that doesn't happen very often. You know, getting multiple offers at the same time for jobs that you actually want to do. Okay, let me see. Let's use some Z modeler. Let's kind of scale, edge loop partial. Kind of pull that in, pull that in. Yeah, just trying to push and pull these things a little bit. We'll say slide edge loop partial. Here we go. Here's your little bowl right there. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to look out for your BPT. Not sure what BPT means. What does that mean? Okay, so there's a bowl. It's a big bowl. So one of the things I want to do, it's because I do want the base to kind of stay more or less how it is. So I'm going to shrink in the rest of this. And then I'll kind of scale out that ring there. But yeah, anyway, so kind of taking this. Let's say scale, edge loop partial. Meter maid, meter maid, meter maid. Oh, and it's going through the bottom here. She's not a real cop. Her prayers have been answered. The kids are watching Zootopia downstairs. Poor Judy Hopps. Meter maid. Let's see if we can kind of smooth this out just a little bit. Maybe not. That's a little bit better. I'm just trying to get that right shape in there that I wanted. Okay, so there's our bowl shape. I kind of want to, let's scale it down a little bit. Okay, that'll be better. All right. There we go. There's our first bowl. Yes. Okay, let's make this bowl group. And Batman Pop-Tart. That makes sense. Yeah, so like the big that makes sense now. The big thing about moving out to North Carolina, I mean, that would have been pretty sweet, because it's insanely cheaper there. Like we could have, like, I mean, I could pay for a house in like a short amount of time. If we were to move out that way. The hard thing about that is that we don't have anybody out there. I mean, I used to have an aunt in Virginia, which is still a considerable distance away, but she moved down to Arizona, and so there's literally nobody for us out there, no friends, no family, and so it's empty. It's absolutely. That was one of our huge deciding factors, and here in Los Angeles, I mean, it's a lot more expensive. But we have, my wife's parents here. We have, some of my wife's siblings here, and right now, I mean, my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, is going through cancer treatments, and so being anywhere other than here doesn't make any sense, So, boy, I hate autosave. Like I have this major hate-love relationship with autosave. Let's go ahead and put that bowl. Let's duplicate it. I'm going to rotate it some. Just gonna try to I'm not trying to align it. I'm just trying to make something slightly different, so it doesn't just look like it's something that was that's the same. It's been rotated. Yeah, something like that. So now I got some bowls. Yeah. Yeah, Netflix has been great. It's been a great opportunity. It's and they're super flexible. They're very understanding. I'm getting that light going on my face now, so I'm trying to lean away from the light. They've been very flexible and very understanding for when I need to be able to do things. But yeah, still hard. There's a lot going on. It gets super overwhelming. Oops. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a gap, just for visual interest's sake. Just kind of put this about right there or something like that, and then we just got to look and make sure that this is actually not going through the shelf. And it won't be perfect, but it should be hopefully enough to make that look good. Okay, let's turn that off. Bowl 1. Okay, let's go ahead to bowl 2. pick that up a little bit. Bowl 3. Okay, now one of the things that we could do, since these are bowls, it could be cool to have these kind of like kind of offset. Yeah, feel free to send me a message anytime, Chris. Dude, thanks a lot, Jamie. Thanks, man. Take care. Regards to your wife, dude. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Keep hunting for mushrooms. Yeah, so right now what I want to do is kind of dress this. So I want the bowls to feel offset, so that they're not. Yeah, that's probably like way too much. Okay, so I'm going to set this in a way that it's hopefully going to feel like it's kind of sitting on top. That might be a bit, that's actually like way too much. Yeah, let's take this one, we'll rearrange it a little bit. Gotta see if I can get this to still feel a little tilted without feeling too tilted. Let's go ahead, transpose set. We'll take it and move it up. Okay, it feels like it's really kind of like super straight up and down, so I'm going to actually make this feel a little bit more tilted. Leaning tower of porcelain. What am I doing? I'm actually building a scene. So currently working on, like arranging some plates and some dishes into a cupboard so that it feels a little bit, a little bit lived in. So far, so good. See, it's just a personal project. It's just something fun to kind of change things up from what I typically do. But yeah, I mean, you're starting to get some semblance of life in this kitchen, which is awesome. Okay, so we'll have things, the idea is hopefully at some point to have things like hanging from underneath this cabinet here, hanging underneath this cabinet here, get a roll of paper towels kind of standing up over here. Yeah, there's a lot. take these. There we go. So now we got the bowls all in one group. We got the plates. We got the little plates. Okay, and it's nice having maybe we'll have like a couple of stacks of bowls, because so this household, if you can see my character over here, my character's Chinese, or Asian. He's based off of this little boy that I found. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's a super fun character, and so like years ago, I started making this story based around this character. Let's see if I can pull up. I actually don't know if I have a PureRef file for this or not. We'll have to see if it's there or not. Kai. Yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah, so I don't have everything, but here is this little boy, and he was awesome. And I need to go through and find his name because I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he was so awesome. And so I decided I'd build a character, build a story, not necessarily around him. I'm not saying it's this boy, but because like I've named my character Kai. But yeah, so I'm trying to go through and kind of build this out. Yeah, he's awesome. Nobody else in his world would be like that, but it's just kind of a fun character, fun story, and I can't wait to be able to share more about it. Let me see. Nice stream. Thank you, Till. I'm a product designer. Are you in the work field, product design? Can you relate to the job? A little bit. I mean, I've done toys. I've done I've done things for 3D print. Let's see, like here's one of my little guys here. Baby shark. Do. So yeah, I've done a bunch of things for that. I've worked for in working at Walt Disney Imagineering before the pandemic. I did a whole bunch of stuff for rides and statues in the parks. So yeah, I can kind of relate to product design a little bit. This question may have been asked you a lot. Does subdivision more actively used compared to Dynamesh? I like to use subdivision surfaces a lot more than Dynamesh, because the thing that it allows me to do is to control the forms more easily. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot easier. To make sure that your form flows in a nice smooth way. The more points that you have to describe a form, the harder it is to keep that form clean. So that's why I usually try to use like nice clean topology instead of Dynamesh. But you'll notice like on my character here, if we look at him, I mean his face is his arms, everything is very well. I mean everything's triangulated, but the thing that I wanted to point out was just that the face and everything, the face was all sculpted from Dynamesh. I haven't topologized him yet. I need to at some point, but we'll see when that happens. Everything else though, the clothing, that was all clean mesh before I decimated it. The hair too, it was all clean topology. I just went through and decimated it so that it has less topology to it than it had before, and so it went through and that's what triangulated the faces down here. But yeah, you'll notice that like things like the stove, the oven here, it's all very clean topology. The tiles for the countertops, very clean topology. Even these floors, the wood floors have very clean topology to be able to make it so that so I can control the shapes and control what's happening and get the wood grain built in, and all those sorts of things. It's really, really fun. Hey Saeed, how are you doing? Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I'm glad you like my work. It's fun. I really enjoy what I do. And you know what? I'm kind of at a point where I feel like I kind of want to say that that's enough for right now on this scene, and then maybe just work on kind of pushing my character or something like that a little bit further, because there's a lot of other stuff that I'd like to do. But I'm feeling like it's kind of just slow going. It's kind of less interesting to watch somebody put plates on a shelf. So I'd say for like the last 20 minutes or so, we'll go ahead and we'll jump in and take a look at our character, just to make sure that this is saved. Yeah, especially because there's no food on them. Yeah, I'll have to make some food at some point. My whole classmate watch your stream, and we all follow you on Instagram. Thank you so much. It's fun. I really love what I do, and it's just a blast. It is such a blast. Let's come over here. Let's look at Kai and see where we're at with him. So yeah, currently this is where he's at. I think I may need to play with some of the shape here. So I feel like for instance his mouth and his nose, I feel like they're coming out a little bit too far. I don't know. There's some things to kind of play around with. It's one of those things that I'm trying to be careful, because if I push these features too much, it makes it harder to read the character as a whole. So yeah, I'm trying to think about like underlying structures. I'm trying to think about making them appealing from different angles. So yeah, we've got him, and those hands are like super rough. They're not anywhere near usable. I've also got my pigeon. I've got Mrs. Song. I've got Goro. And I've got Jube. Oh, and I started Mr. Chung. Mr. Chung was one that was really kind of fun, but I haven't gotten very far on him at all. Let's see. Let's check out Goro. Let's see where he's at. Oh, he's like super rough. Yeah, definitely needs a lot of work, because I think that like, yeah, I don't think that the proportions are working at all for him. In fact, maybe what I can do It's like one of the things that I was trying to do was really push some of these proportions and shapes and things, and I mean I can tell like just how badly it's not working. Yeah, something, because it's like one of the things I got to think about is how am I going to make this character fit into the world of Kai? Like, how is he going to fit in with? Let's go ahead and make that look like he's got something like that, and then give him a smaller butt. And this is all just kind of blocking it in, right? So it's not really like clean. It's not going to be amazing. So yeah, just a matter of going through and really pushing and pulling and playing, kind of figuring things out. These feet are, you know, now that I'm seeing it, it's like they're just way too narrow. Like I haven't touched this character in months, like probably since before the pandemic even. so it's funny to go through and to see this character again with such fresh eyes that I'm like, man, I did him wrong. I think that this is starting to go in a better direction, but these arms are definitely super wrong. Let me go ahead, fill materials so we get that same even material. I don't like the material that was on there. He's too muscular. Let's kind of narrow him out. Holy crap. And then those arms need to be longer too. Just gonna get like a really nice soft mask on here. Okay, and then we'll just kind of lengthen this out some, because I need to make sure the elbows kind of come down to about this area. Just like thinking about where my elbows come down to on myself. Soften it out. Kind of lengthen that out a little bit so that it feels like it comes down to about right there in his mid-thigh. That looks pretty good. That looks much better. But I still need to possibly take his feet and move them down some or something. Okay, let's kind of pull this over, make it so that it fits that leg a little bit better. The new leg. I feel like let's come in over here and just kind of like give some angles to these pants. Make it so that they're not so round. And then we can let those facets make the fabric feel like it's got certain texture to it. something like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's much better. In India, we don't have jobs in ZBrush. Literally, actually, there are quite a few things that happen. For in India, there are several studios that have branches out there. There's different opportunities for like fine art sculpture in ZBrush, and then especially with the way that that things have been for the pandemic and everything, it's been kind of a global market, if you will. There we go. Turn on some thickness for that shirt. Yeah, this is so much better. I am going to grab just like the fingers from Kai and let's bring them in. But yeah, there's an artist, a really good friend of mine. His name is Bien Bichar. Really awesome, great guy. He works for Technicolor. He's worked on huge blockbuster films. Phenomenal sculptor. In fact, let me see if I can pull up a page. There we go. Let's see. Here he is. Yeah, this dude is amazing. And he's from India. Yeah, and this is all ZBrush, and possibly some other tools too. But ZBrush, it's all 3D. So pay attention to some of the amazing, just the sharp mind, the very sharp and illuminated mind he has, and the way that he's able to go in and create these different feelings, different pieces. Is Maradona, like a coin, like a relief sculpt. Chadwick Boseman. Just the clay feel, the paper mache, the towel, this like little magical ZBrush unicorn thing, the lino cut, all sorts of really super cool things that he does. Beautiful work, and such a great imagination. It's so clever, so clever. Yeah, he's one of my favorite ZBrush artists to follow because he does such incredible work. Such incredible work. Oh, this one is stunning. Like look at the lace and how cool that lace is. All that was created using ZBrush. It's not textures, it's ZBrush. So yeah, just phenomenal work. Really super cool. Yeah, go give him a good look. Let's see, let's say insert arms, and then I don't want that. Geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Yeah, I'm trying to just like quickly go in and block in some some fingers for this guy so that he's not. And then part of the story of this particular character is that I want him to, whatever the community is that these people live in, this particular character, I want him to like have a little bit more backstory. Like I was thinking about having him miss a finger, and like he's really old, and maybe he was, as a kid, maybe he survived the bombings in Okinawa or something like that. I don't know. Like trying to think of different backstory things to help make his character interesting. They're just going through the part in Zootopia right now where they're treating little Nick Fox really super poorly because he's a fox. It's so dumb. Treat people with respect. Doesn't matter if you think they should be your enemy. If they're your opponent, that's the different thing. But if, enemies shouldn't exist. Okay, lots to do to kind of develop this guy, but it's cool to kind of have been able to jump on and play with him a little bit here. He's an ice cream man, by the way. He he has ice cream truck and everything like that. I'm really kind of liking how this is looking. We'll have to see next time I open them up, see if I really still like them or not. Let's change this to version 5. And I'll keep pushing them there. I'm trying to decide whether or not to keep working on this on my personal stream. I really like how this is turning out. And so it could be worth me going through and just, maybe streaming for another half hour or an hour, maybe. Maybe not today. We'll have to see. But a different time, and we'll come back to him, because I feel really passionate about this character, these characters, this story. Being able to tell these characters' stories and things like that. It's just fun. Anyway. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys had a good time. I always do. I always have a good time coming through and just playing around in ZBrush and enjoying time playing with characters and environments and props and things with you guys. His arm's like right in the way. Move your hand, Kai. Oops. There we go. It could be fun to go through and kind of like pose them together or something at some point. But we'll see. Quentin, man. Thank you so much. Dude, I heard from Sherman last night. I was on the Lightbox Expo, the presentation that my brother Mikkel was doing, about, he was doing it with a guy named Mike, and then I don't remember the other guy's name, but they're from a studio called 9B. Anyway, Mikkel is a buddy of mine, and it was about intuition. Oh gosh, what was it called? Intuition and something or another. Where you at, buddy? There you are. Oh, from Michael Wandi. Was the buddy that was on with him. It was about The Art of Following Your Intuition. It was a cool little discussion. It should be available, I think, on the Lightbox website and possibly on YouTube or whatever. But yeah. Oh, he's helping out at Lightbox? That's pretty groovy. Dude, good on him. I didn't know that. Anyway, hey, thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for coming and having fun. Can you hear the howl? It's kind of funny. It was a super good discussion. Lots of interesting thought. And yeah. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me. And I will see you guys next time I see you. Smartest out.